Welcome back to Co's Q. And yes, I know it's been a while, a couple months now. Got through the holidays, a lot of stuff going on with the kid, with sports, and just life in general. I'm sure you guys understand, but we are here with you today. It's late March, pushing into April. The weather's starting to get beautiful. Yes, the pollen is dropping, but it's not going to stop us from cooking outside, is it? So we've got this beautiful cut of tomahawk steak, roughly about 3.5 pounds, and it's actually already been dry brining overnight for about 10 to 12 hours now, just with some kosher salt. As you see here, and I wish you could get a good close-up of it, and I'll probably try to get one for you. You'll see it at the beginning or at some point, where you can actually see the meat absorbing that salt and shrinking in and around the fat that doesn't absorb the salt. So a really cool feature. It only does that if you dry brine it in this way, and but it really does make the meat that much more tender and flavorful, along with the addition of the cowboy seasoning we're going to put, which says on the bottle itself, made for tomahawk steaks. As one of the premier cuts to use it on, and ground pepper. You got to use ground pepper. I mean, it's just quintessential when barbecuing, right? So please come along, join me, and let's try to make this one of the best steaks we've ever made. There you have it. I'm just going to go back into the refrigerator just for about an hour. Then that last hour, I'm going to let it come up to, it never really gets to full room temperature, like 70 degrees, but it will come up from the internal, which is somewhere around 37, 38, 40 degrees, wherever the refrigerator temp is set. So we'll get that going here shortly. All right, so we got the tumbleweed going. I'm trying to get the Oklahoma Joes up to snuff. That'll clear for a second. I've got the majority of the charcoal off to one side. Don't want to use a full barrel, of charcoal, because it's not going to take that long. We only want it on for anywhere from between an hour and 2 hours, so don't need to fill the whole thing up. I know it's pretty hard to see, but you can see the grates there at the bottom, and the cherry wood sitting off to the side. And we're going to put the steak roughly about right here, and I'm going to do it directly on the grates. I'm not going to hang it. You feel like tying it up, and it should be just as delicious. All right, so here's the time we're going to put it on the Bronco. The coals are up to temp on one side of the grill, which is what you want, and I'm going to put it on the cooler side with the thickest part of the meat facing the heat. And this is what it's reading currently. It's obviously not quite room temp, but definitely a little warmer than 38, 40 degrees, which is a great start. So we're gonna let that go for at least an hour, check it, and I'm trying to get it to 115, and we're gonna put it on a cast iron skillet, let it get hot with some butter, and just wash it with butter. All right, so we're losing a little bit of light, but that's okay. It should just have just enough. That's all that's needed to be able to see where we're at here. We're up to 120 degrees, which is perfectly fine. I'm actually going to take this off. And we're actually going to cut the bone completely off and then throw it in the skillet and bathe it in some butter here in just a second. And yes, that is an airplane. All right, so now this step, we're going to cut off the meat from the bone. So all that's left is what is going to fit in the cast iron skillet so it can bathe in the butter. Make sure you got your really sharp knife. But sometimes you don't really need a sharp knife if it's cooked really good, which I believe this is. All right, so now we got the butter sizzling, which means the cast iron skillet is right where we need it to be to put a nice butter sear on this tomahawk. I know it's getting dark, so you might have to just go with me on this. We're just gonna baste it. All right, the moment of truth. Had it resting under this aluminum foil, not tight, just lightly covered, just so the moisture can render back into the steak. And the blood, of course, whatever is left of it, drips out into the pan, and the rest is the juices that stay into the steak. We basted it with butter. Sorry, it was not really easy to see, obviously, because I lost some light. The late March sun doesn't stay up, obviously, near as much as the April, May, and so on into the summer, but I think you get the point. It's a great way of doing it, and we're about to cut into it now to see how it looks on the inside. Go straight down the middle here. You see, perfect. Medium rare to medium. I like it a little bit more in between the medium rare to the medium. My wife likes it the same way. My son, not real bloody. I can eat it that way. For those of you that like that way, cook it to your liking. That's the great thing about cooking at home. You can do it the way you want to do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is perfect for us, and cannot wait to slice into it, get a couple bites of it here soon. Here's the cut I'm looking forward to, the spinalis. That's the outer ring that is it seems like it's a little bit disconnected from the main part of the ribeye. There's a fat layer that separates it that's real loose. I'm sure y'all notice that in the stores. That outer ring, the spinalis, is the most tastiest part of this meat. The rest of that tastes anywhere remotely close to this. That's probably one of the best I've ever cooked. Basting in that butter makes so much of a difference. Get a little bit of that cast iron flavor, along with a little bit of cherry smoke, charcoal. All right, folks, you can see I've carved this up a little bit. I'm gonna have some sandwiches tomorrow at lunch with a little bit of a salad, and very versatile when you cook a size cut like this, because it's 3.5 pounds. Obviously, some of it's gonna render down, moisture's gonna render it down. You're probably gonna get about 2.25 pounds of actual protein that you can use to eat the night you cook it, and going on past that if you don't have enough people to eat it the day that you do cook it. So this will be delicious tomorrow, but it's extra delicious this evening. This is Co's Q. I'm about to enjoy this with the family. Y'all have a good one.